Thank you for making the time to come listen to our presentations. It's a wonderful conference with a lot of opportunity cost. There are lots of great panels, so thank you for being here. We're NextPlay. We help companies engage, upskill, and retain their talent at scale. Career development is an ill-defined path. It's left on employees to navigate their own careers. And it's not enough to just be good at your job. You have to identify mentors and sponsors who can open doors for you. And especially women, minorities, and introverts suffer. I know because I'm all three. The workforce is becoming increasingly millennial and increasingly disengaged. The number one thing we want in a job is, can it help us grow our careers? And the number one reason we leave a job is because we're not able to grow there. We've hit a ceiling for some reason or the other. And again, I know because I was one of these disengaged millennials. I used to work at LinkedIn, and I didn't know what I wanted to be and who I wanted to grow up to be. And very serendipitously, this mentor found me, and she changed my life. And she gave me a lot of confidence as a young woman, and I can see a lot of women in the room smiling. And you know what it's like to be in a corporate environment, especially in the first couple years in the workforce. And I wanted to pay it forward. And I stayed at LinkedIn for 3 years and started a global mentoring program for women at LinkedIn. And generally, what we've seen is that companies spend lots of money on coaching executives or else on mentoring directors and senior managers, but it's really pricey, and hence it's reserved for that tippy top in the hierarchy of a company. There are resources like LinkedIn for consumers, but they have this career hub where you can request a mentor, but you don't have the structure and guidance to help you identify your goals, and no response is guaranteed. So it's essentially a networking tool. But what we see is that early to mid-career professionals are completely neglected. And while companies want to respond to their ask for learning and development opportunities, they don't have the resources to scale it unless they tap into their own employees and match them to each other to share institutional knowledge and to help with upskilling and internal mentorship. So when I was at LinkedIn running that mentoring program, I first time saw the limitations of scaling that program, as well as building follow-through for users. And one of my biggest takeaways was that mentees don't often know what they want. So how do you first solve for that problem of increased self-awareness to help them then work backwards from their goal and find a mentor, right? It's a more nuanced problem than the archaic mentoring softwares that I took demos from were equipped to do. Around the same time, I met my technical co-founder, Nawar. He has 8 years building beautiful mobile products and leading technical teams. And we both instantly clicked because I grew up in India in scarcity, where women in my family are not allowed to work, and he grew up in Iraq in a war zone and came here on a Fulbright scholarship and then brought his family here as refugees. But we both know that talent is equally distributed, but opportunities are not. And that's the core mission of what we're trying to do, which is leveling the playing field by systematizing career development at companies. So together, we built Ellen. It's a mobile chatbot. It's fun and slick and gamified, and millennial employees love it. So it chats with your individual employees, perceives their blind spots, helps them see the skill gaps in their career pathing. It automatically matches them to internal mentors, and then helps as a meeting assistant with documenting notes, documenting to-dos, gamifying follow-through, and so on. And we're able to give real-time employee analytics back to the company to make smarter decisions about recruiting, team formation, internal mobility, and so on. So I mentioned some of the differences before, but in the general landscape of coaching and mentorship tool for corporate companies, there are either marketplaces like BetterUp and Everwise who have external coaches or mentors that serve a different purpose, or else there are archaic mentoring softwares that help with internal mentorship. But they were built 20 years ago, and they're essentially databases of mentor-mentee profiles, where again, all the onus is on the mentee. And who needs another LinkedIn within the company? What we do is we take the guesswork out of the equation for the mentee as well as the mentor, and we make career growth for them easy, effortless, and fun. So after 6 months with our NextPlay approach, we saw that employees felt twice as equipped to achieve their goals. On a scale of 0 to 10, the number moved from 4.5 on average to 8.5, because now they have someone within their company who cares about them, and they can see this clear growth path. They see their next steps. They have a plan. 25% more employees now strongly recommend working for their company. And if anybody here is in HR, you know that that is huge. 90% of our matches met more than 3 times. And in just a year, we have 131K in revenue. 100% of our pilots with companies like Lyft, Assury, and Splink are renewing to annual contracts of 6 digits. And we have $1 million in our sales pipeline. It's a massive space. Companies spend $356 billion a year on talent development, but they have no way to measure ROI, and they have no way to achieve personalization at scale. We're targeting world's fastest growing companies with at least 1,000 employees. We're a team of 5, and we come from companies like LinkedIn and Google and universities like Stanford. I myself went to Mount Holyoke College, which is the first institution in the US where women could get college degrees. I didn't know that when I applied. We had raised a small pre-seed round last year of $320K from 500 startups, LinkedIn's head of engineering, TechCrunch's former CEO. And now we're about to go raise a $2 million seed round. And if anything I said resonated with you, if you want to get coffee, if you want to introduce us to investors, please come chat with us. I'll really appreciate that. Thank you.